Greetings, Night Hunters. Alizonia here, and before we begin this little Q&A video, I just want to take the time to apologize for taking a little long with this one. As I mentioned in my previous community post, basically I had family coming over, but one thing I didn't mention is that there was also some work-related issues that happened, so I was a little occupied with that. So I decided to just wait until the end of November, just cram the uploads like the Hero and Sonic montage, this video, eventually the Coolest Moves video, which will be out, if not by the next day of this upload, then definitely early December. And of course, I'm probably going to say this at the end of the video too, but I also want to say a big thank you for, of course, helping me reach this milestone. It's been kind of fun getting to grow somewhat of a following and so I had people on Instagram and YouTube basically ask me a few questions, and here's me just answering them. So if you didn't get a chance to ask a question, feel free to comment one and I'll answer under this video. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. Chibi_short_def asks, what's your favorite Richter design? And by the same token, favorite Simon design? Personally, my favorite Richter has always been the original or the Smash version. I just feel like it's such a simple and perfect design. And for Simon, easily Simon's Quest design. Funny enough, I actually did end up ranking the Simon and Richter designs, if you want to check that out, wink wink nudge nudge. But yeah, these designs are easily my favorite, but almost all of Simon and Richter's designs are great. Garcethon asks, what is your percentage of failure when trying to pull a crazy combo during a match? You're amazing. Well, first off, thank you for the compliment, I really appreciate it. But as far as a percentage goes, it really depends. For Belmont, I want to say maybe like failure-wise, maybe it would be like, if it's something super complicated, I want to say it's like 70% if you could believe it or not. If it's like a simple like setup that I've shown many times before, or even something a little more intricate but possible, then I'd say maybe it's like a 20 to 30-ish%, depending on how good the player is and of course the matchup. I'm Proto asks, what does Jigglypuff remind you of? Well, saying playing Smash with you would probably be just too obvious, so I feel like if the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Jigglypuff is obviously the anime, given there's actually a Jigglypuff character that sings in the show. And I always think of course, the Jigglypuff Scene from Above meme. But I guess if you want me to say something that wasn't Pokemon or video game related, I guess Jigglypuff kind of reminds me of like, they used to have like these old bubblegum like shells you would open, and then you could like take it apart, and then you would pull out like a whole roll of gum. If I get a picture, I'll just put it in the video. I forget what the brand name was too. I was like 5 years old when I saw those things. I don't know if those are even a thing anymore, but yeah, that's probably, I guess it just reminds me of bubblegum, honestly. Askers_commander_Anna has 2 questions. First, when did you get started with Castlevania? So, when I was in middle school, I discovered this YouTuber known as Some Call Me Johnny who would review video games, and he kind of influenced me to want to play all these different type of games. I started becoming like into like many things, and I had phases where I was like, oh my god, I love this game and this game, and only a few really stuck as favorites to me years later, and one of those was Castlevania. I had a Wii U in like 2012, so for Virtual Console I got Castlevania 4, and I had so much fun with it. Easily one of my favorite platformers of all time. I would eventually, of course, play Symphony of the Night as well on my old Xbox, and that is a masterpiece. If you happen to have a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4, whatever else it might be on nowadays, absolutely you should get that game. That game is marvelous. Their second question is, would you say the Belmonts are the most fun characters in Smash? Yes, absolutely. I think it's without question that everyone knows my favorite are Simon and Richter. I like them because, I've said this before probably, but with most of the characters that I use, I like that you can use every single move in their kit to do something different. For Belmonts, their specials are used for option coverage and setups, their aerials are used for spacing and strings and stuff, you know, their smash attacks are used for hard reads or ending off setups, like they have, everything is used. Like, yeah, some are not used as much, like up tilt you use to like catch landings and that's really it, like maybe once in a while. But I do like that you actually can use every move together. You know, and it's not just like you're relying on 2 or 3 moves. Like, obviously, you'll see, like, maybe a heavier use of, like, Fair and Bear, or maybe a heavier use of, like, Holy Water or something. But, like, for the most part, you're really using a mixture of all their moves. And I just love how faithful they are to their home series, and just how interesting and intricate and fun they are. Simple as that. Suspicious Temmie asks, how many hours do you have on Smash Ultimate? I'm just gonna let the picture speak for itself. I work 5 to 6 days a week. I earn the right to play this much. But you can judge. I don't blame you. Clancy asks, congrats on the milestone. Any advice on the pits? Also, please tell me I'm not the only one who thinks that their Nair hitbox should have been fixed in a balance patch. I think, well, let me just talk about the hitbox thing first. Basically, I think the Nair is actually fine. I think the forward air is the one that needed a bit more help, but I guess Nair could have used some help too. At least with maybe just making it more consistent when you're actually dragging down with it. As far as advice for the pits, pits are a pocket of mine, so I'm not like the greatest pit ever or anything. But I do try to watch some pro players and see what they're doing and try to replicate that. One thing I will say is try to play pit with a mixture of aggressiveness and patience. Try to like see what your opponent, like condition your opponent off stage, because their strong suit is definitely with edge guarding. So like let's say if you know their air dodge habits, or if you want to force them into a situation where they'll have to air dodge, you just want them to get like killed as early as possible off stage. Hopefully that helps in some sort of way, but thank you, Clancy. I appreciate your question, and also thank you for congratulating me. Appreciate it. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Majtakul asks, congrats on the milestone. Love your vids. I wonder, what are your favorite Castlevania games? Mine are Curse of Darkness and Rondo of Blood. My absolute favorite title is definitely Symphony of the Night. That game is like perfection incarnate. But if you want like my favorite Castlevania, that honor would go to Castlevania 4. Those are like my two top favorites. If I had to mention any others that are like close contenders, I absolutely love the original Castlevania. Bloodlines is a lot of fun. Portrait of Ruin is great. Aria of Sorrow is fantastic. Those are probably along the lines of my favorites. I haven't played every single title, or I haven't played much of certain titles like Lament of Innocence, but you know, I'm starting to play almost all of them, like more and more, so hopefully my opinions might actually change and maybe I'll find some more diamonds in the rough that I didn't notice before. Otherwise, yeah, favorites are Symphony of the Night and Castlevania 4. And that's about it for the Q&A. I appreciate those who took the time to ask a question, and you guys for viewing this video in the first place, as well as those who have been supporting me since either day one, or even so much as like last week, or, you know, it doesn't matter. The point is, if you're supporting, I appreciate it. And of course, thank you again for 1K. Really appreciate it. Next upload will be the coolest move video, so hope you guys look forward to that. That should be the very next day, or early December. I'm going to try to make it the very next day, because I'm like 90% done with that, but you know, it depends on how work has me feeling afterwards. Until then, happy night hunting.